said you've been waiting for someone like me. You said you've been waiting and waiting to give me all I need. You say that you want me. You say you have everything I need. You say that you want me. You say you have everything I need.
Hello and welcome to B-Buzz TV. Today my special guest is...
Hi, my name is Paitria.
Paitria is a R&B and hip-hop artist. I came across her when she responded to a casting that I did on Model Mayhem, and there was just something about her that said, okay, this is someone you definitely want to reach out to and see how you can possibly help this young lady achieve her dreams. And it turns out my instinct was right, because she's an absolutely wonderful and amazing young lady. So let's learn a little bit more about her. So how did you get started?
My mom, well, all three generations, my great-grandma, grandma, and mom, they're all singers.
Oh, and so what age did you actually hit that first vocal?
Around 5 or 6 in the choir.
In the choir? Oh, so was it a church choir?
Yes, ma'am. Church choir.
Church. Okay, so you were one of those church girls.
Oh my God.
Okay, so you started off singing church songs. So how do you go from church songs to R&B and hip hop?
Well, even though that, like, I was heavily in the choir, like, one thing that we did when I was younger, my grandma did not allow us to listen to secular music. So we would have to sneak and take the radio, and we didn't have a radio. Our friend across the street had the radio, so we'd have to go sneak and listen to the radio, and that's when I first discovered secular music, like R&B, hip-hop, and that was like 95, 96, so Biggie and all of them were on the radio, and I was just like, I want to do something like this.
Okay, so how did you get your family to come on board and support you after you stepped outside of singing church songs? How did you work that out?
Well, when I got a little older, my grandma that's when she began to get more supportive, because she heard my music and she heard what I was talking about, and she was like, well, these aren't so bad. So she knew that it was something I really wanted. I wanted to be like Mariah Carey. Okay. That was who I really idolized. Brandy and Mariah Carey have been like my biggest inspirations.
Now, did they also write lyrics? Because you write your own lyrics. Did they do that too, or is this something that came natural?
Yes, they write too.
Oh, so you got some pretty good DNA there, huh?
Yes.
All right, so when you are writing lyrics for a song, do you do because you create your own melodies, you have your own home studio, correct?
Yes.
So do you create the melody, then the lyrics, or do you create the lyrics and then the melody?
Sometimes it comes to me interchangeably. Sometimes I'll hear a melody and I'm like, oh, that'll be a great beat. I want to make a beat like this. And then the lyrics, I'll start creating some lyrics so that I can sing it to one of my producers, and they can make the beat that I'm thinking of. And then sometimes I'll just get like this amazing, comes like poetry, and then the lyrics just flow, and then I'm like, okay, this is a song.
All right.
Very subtly do I write my music, like literally write it down. A lot of the times I just get on the mic and I just spew it out.
Wow.
And just hit record and just spew it out, and then come back and finish out the whole song.
Okay, so creating your own melody, did you take classes for music, or that came natural?
That came natural. I didn't have money for classes. I didn't have money for dance classes, so I would go on the internet and watch tapes to learn how to dance and sing. And
all right, now when I was a kid, I had one of those, this was a long time ago, but I had one of those toy pianos. So you just said you didn't have money for classes. How did you manage to get your first keyboard?
when did I get my first? My first keyboard was actually, it was not mine. It was one that I go borrow.
Oh, wow, yeah. You were determined. Oh, okay. So step by step, let's talk about how your studio came to be. What was your first piece? The keyboard?
The first thing in my studio, because actually at home it's just a recording setup, so I don't have the production stuff, but I'm actually working on now investing to get the production equipment in there.
Right.
But right now it's all just like with the recording equipment, and the first thing I got was my computer.
Okay.
And I got the MacBook, and it comes with a program called GarageBand. So I used to just sit in the closet with little earpieces and just sing in GarageBand, and that was my first like learning how to record.
Oh wow! I remember when I got the first piece of equipment after the keyboard was the MC505. So in the manual, the first thing it says is to play what you recorded. I'm like, how can I play what I recorded when you haven't told me how?
Right.
So with your piece of equipment, did the manual help you, or did you just like trial and error before you figured it out?
It was all trial and error.
Me too.
It was so confusing. Yes, it was so
okay.
confusing.
All right, so I'm glad to know I'm not the only one. All right, now your first song, what was the name of it?
The first song, it wasn't a song, it was a poem.
It was a poem.
And I can't remember the name of it because I was really young. I was probably like 8.
No
Yeah,
way.
that's when I wrote my first song, and I don't think I had a name to it, or I didn't know what I wanted to call it. But it was the first time that I sat down and I wrote, and I didn't have a beat or anything. I just would sing it out loud. I would just sing it.
Oh, okay. So did you do any school talent shows?
Yes, I did school talent shows. Like the first one I did was in elementary, and I vaguely remember, but I remember I sung "Hero" by Mariah Carey.
Oh, what was the response?
It was really good, and that's when I knew that I should pursue it, because that was the first time I ever was on stage in front of an audience like that, like singing for like a talent show, and when people reacted, I was like, okay, I want to touch people like this again.
Okay. Now, you are an emerging singer, and not everyone has the backing or the funds to get videos, photos, or just people to actually work with you. So what did you do to get people to come on board to support you and to back you with no funding?
Well, about like 2 years ago now, I decided to take a step back from music and focus more on modeling, and that way I could build a image brand, like a brand where people could see my photos, because in modeling it's actually a lot easier to get people to shoot you for free because they do like a trade thing.
Right.
And so I was able to work with other photographers, and they would give me the photos as compensation for my time.
Okay.
And so that's kind of like what helped me be able to use those modeling photos for my music to promote my music.
Very
also
smart. Yes. Now, you have 2 amazing videos that I've seen. Did they come on board because they wanted to support you and believed in you, or did you find funding for those videos?
Yes, the director of those videos is Christian Bowen, and he believed in me enough to come behind me and help me get something big, out there, because he wanted to help me showcase my talent. Now,
the first video that you did, were you a nervous wreck?
Actually, I wasn't. I was really calm, but maybe because we were in the park, and it was like really peaceful, and the song is really like it's about love and it's calming. So I think maybe a little bit of it was that I was at peace with the music, and so in the scenery, I think that kind of came in and like kept me calm. I was just really excited to see how I would look. I was nervous about that part.
Sometimes when I look at these videos, people are lip singing, and you can tell. Were you singing for real? I figured that because it was so natural and it looked real, and you did look relaxed and like you were having a really good time. All right, now let's talk about the new song. What's the name of it?
Come With Me.
All right, tell us the story behind that.
Well, the story behind the beat was I can't remember why I wanted something that sort of sounded a little Asian, but I wanted something different. And so I called up the producer, Quincy Jones, and I was like, Quincy, I want you to make something different. Like, I want it to sound like with some Asian influences in it, though, but just make sure it doesn't sound like anything that we've heard before that had those Asian influences. And then he was like, okay, I can do that. And then so maybe a day or so later, he sends me the track, and I'm like, this track is crazy. Like, it's amazing. It's what I asked for. But then I was like, what am I going to write to it?
Right.
I had to sit on that track for maybe like a week, thinking of what I want to say. What I knew that I wanted to tell like a story of like a love story going off somewhere, but I just didn't know how to tell it because the beat is so different. It changes. It switches. So then I can't remember how the lyrics came to me, but they little by little they came to me. That song was the hardest song I've ever written, actually.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, well, no, I really like it. Now, do you also do your chorus, or you have backup singers?
No, I do all the vocals.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I agree with you. The song is very unique. And Come to Me, did that title come up after you created the song or before?
It came up while I was writing. Because
Okay.
first, I think I had a different title at first, and then I was like, no, I should call it this because this is what it should be. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just thought that there was a different title. I
Yeah,
can't figure out.
you're very intuitive.
Yeah. Okay, so where do you see yourself? Because first of all, let me just say this lady is determined. Did I say determined to achieve her goals here? So 5 years from now, not if, where will you be 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I will have my third platinum album.
Okay.
I'll be releasing my third platinum album and hopefully doing like my either first or maybe my second world tour. And I would also hope for movies, and I also love to write books. I've written 2, but they're not published yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't know how to go about getting them published, but I wrote the stories because I like to write. And so I'm hoping to just bring all of my gifts into like one big entity and be like, that next diva superstar.
Okay, now, there are a lot of emerging singers out there that are not exactly sure if this is the road that they want to take. Maybe they have these voices in their hair, maybe they have family tell them, oh, you need to go to school, get a college degree, blah, blah, blah. What would you tell them?
I would tell them to follow their hearts and make sure that this is what they really want, because it does take a lot of time and energy. And once you've gone down so far in a path away, you don't want to have wasted time, because time is the one thing we just can't get back.
Right.
So I would tell them, make sure this is what they really want, and it's not just because they want fame. If you should want to do it not because someone is paying you or popularity for Instagram likes or something. It should just be what you love. Like, you'd cry without it, die without it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, because I love what I do. And there are times where, people don't take me seriously because I have no problem kicking off my shoes and getting behind the camera or taking pictures, whatever you need to do. If you love what you're doing, then there aren't any limits to it.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this sexy little photo for the Come With Me. How did that come about?
I shot that with a photographer. His name is Paul. His photography company is Curvation Photography, and I shot that with him last year. We actually we shot several looks, and that was one of the looks we did. And it wasn't until about a week before I released the song, he released that photo. I never saw that photo before. He was inspired. I guess he saw what I was doing in New York for Fashion Week, and he shouted me out and congratulated me for my success during Fashion Week, and he released that photo along with the congratulations. And I was like, oh my God. And it's almost like the spirit spoke to me and was like, you have to release this song now, and that's going to be the photo.
Okay, now was it originally in color and then you converted to black and white, or was it originally black and white?
It was black and white.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never seen it in color.
Oh, all right. So, what events you have planned?
My next performance is November 18th, and I'm also going to be doing, it's a live open mic, and they have a live band that plays with you, and I believe it's at Blue Martini.
Okay. Now, live, when you're doing live, it's not like being in the studio where if you get off key, you can correct it. So are you nervous when you do live, or are you just always on key?
I'm not nervous. I don't like to say I'm always on key, but I'll just say this. I've done a lot of years of vocal training because I did eventually, my mom, who's actually my adopted mother, she invested in my career and she got me into artist development when I was 16.
Okay.
And so we put a lot of time and effort into vocal performance so that it wasn't just about the look and a pretty girl, it was about great vocals.
Right.
So when I'm with a band, I'm not nervous because I have the experience and I practice a lot. I sing every day.
Okay, that was going to be my next question, how important practicing is. So now, I hate to do this here, but we got to go back to that closet thing. So are you still hanging out in the closet singing?
No, I have.
For
those
me, it
closet
was the
days.
bathroom because I just said, oh my God, you know that whole reverb thing in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
But I've never heard of a closet. So was this a small closet, a medium closet? Was it pretty big?
It actually was a nice walk-in closet.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't so bad. And it was good for the fact that it kept the vocals compressed.
Okay.
And it kept them like solid sounding. Now, if anyone goes on MySpace and puts my name in, you'll hear like really old song covers that I did, and they sound horrible because I had no idea what I was doing. But those are like the ones, a lot of those were done in my closet. Some of the music that's going to be on the album was done in my closet before I had reached where I'm at now.
Okay. All right. Well, just so you know, there are places in your home, if you don't have a studio to go to, like the closet, the bathroom, I think are very, very good places to practice. All right, so you said that Mariah Carey is one of your favorite singers. Okay, so I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to do it anyway. Give us a chorus from Mariah Carey.
Okay. I'm going to take a sip of water.
Okay, sure.
There's a hero if you look inside your heart. You don't have to be afraid of what you are. There's an answer if you reach into your soul, and the sorrow that you know will melt away. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you'll finally see the truth that a hero lies in you.
Wow! That was absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, this is...
Paitria.
And this is Miss Berger signing off. Ciao.
I wanna go for